Hello everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you to share with you my process and setup of my 2025 Week in the Life album. And so I'm starting off with my cover page. I use this lovely chipboard and plastic piece, as well as some of the numbers and photos to have our ages and names. And then I continued on with the by the numbers pages because I wanted to just do a summary at the end of the week with the things that we've done. And then this is how I kick off day one, gluing that together, and then going into these 3x4 cards, photos on those two sections, and then that free space for like a shaker or something. I'm not sure yet. So that's what I plan on doing. And then using this full page piece for bits of life. So ephemera from the day will go in there. And then popping that to the front and the oval to the back, and just adding in some detail. Then I have the 2x2 spread with some bits and pieces, some long form journaling here, and using this stamp here from the collection to pop in the day of the week in red. I was also thinking I could use this sticker sheet, but I don't think the colors are the same, so I'll see how I feel about that when I'm putting everything together. But this would be here, and then the scallop edge, and then 3 pictures on the left hand side. So that's basically what I have in mind, and then taking out the colors from each day of the week, putting them all together. So that's what I'm starting off with. I felt like it was easier to just make some piles, so laying out the rest of the week by color, and then just popping that in there. So I could start with, gathering all the yellows together. That would be Tuesday. Gathering all the greens, the pinks, peaches, everything. There were a few bits and pieces from the collection this year. So the paper pack came with quite a few goodies that I like. And then the by the numbers kit also have quite a few things that are color coded, with the color coordinating with the main kit. And so I am just gonna pull everything together from the collection that matches, and then I will use those to put each day together. I love these little color blocked journal cards. I thought they're really nifty, and I use them as a probably a 3-ish or 3, or is it 4x8 card. Seeing this layered over each other also looks quite cool. If that's something that you wanted to do, I thought, yeah, that's actually quite nice now that I'm looking at it. And then, yeah, these 4x4 cards, I didn't have a plan, but I'm thinking I could put them on that pattern by paper, because I'm cutting that down to 7x8 to kick off my pages as part of the page divider element. I love these little tags as well. These came in the by the numbers kit, I believe. And I thought they'd be really cool to add to 2x2 pockets, because I love just adding little different shapes and things in these 2x2 pockets. So that would be quite fun. So just laying all of this out and getting everything together, I felt like this would be the best first step to organizing my supplies, because once I could see them all by color, then I could really hone in on my setup and be satisfied that what I currently have is what I want to continue with throughout the week as a setup. And just making sure as well that I use up my supplies for the album, and also ensuring that I have enough space for everything. So yeah, I really love these 10x8 papers and the colors, and I felt like they'd be great going opposite the transparent or translucent page dividers. And I guess I could also kick things off with something like a quote from the day, a photo from the day, something. So that would be good for the 4x4 cards. layering that on top of the paper. But yeah, just, you know, some more ideas flowing as I continue going through the supplies and watching everything. So once I have my little piles together, I felt like it would just flow there on after with everything. So popping these together, making sure I don't lose anything. I think the only thing that I didn't pull out were like those plastic half circles and the 2x2 things, because I felt like I would be putting those 2x2 pages together and just kind of pulling one from each stack. Those are already in stacks. And I guess because they're so little, I really didn't want to lose them. So, or like want them to slide out to the pile or anything like that. So I just kind of laid them out to the top of my desk so that I could see them and know which colors are present and pull the colors that I needed for each day. So this is Saturday, so these are coming together nicely, and then I will just make sure I have everything for Sunday as well. And then this is my pile for the week right here. It's all come together. So now that I have that pile there, I can begin to set up the rest of this in my album, because I just had Monday in my album, and I feel like I do better with this project when I have a full album set up prior to taking my photos and my journaling. So this is here for just these see-through what would you call them, cards, plastic cards, which are quite nice. And again, just going through and making sure I have one for each day of the week. The greens, there are two greens, a tealish one, so it throws a bit more blue, and there's evergreen that throws a bit, it's a dark green, but I guess it would be a greenish on the yellow side of things, as opposed to the tealish one. So now that I have all my stacks, yeah, I feel like I'll just leave the small bits there and then continue on to bring the page protectors and whatnot together. So just organizing my page protectors, making sure I have all that I need, and then I am going on to pull those pages together. So I need one of those, the 4 3x4 pieces, so I'm pulling those out. I need some of the 2x2s, I need full page protectors, and so just organizing those as well and getting everything ready so that I can form an assembly line for it all. So these pieces, journaling bits as well, I just wanted to pop all of them into a full page protector so that they're all in one place, because I wasn't ready to glue or stitch down that 1 2 3 scalloped one, and I wasn't ready to put the other journal cards, take them down anyway. So I pop those into a page protector so that when I am documenting and completing my album, I would just pull them out and pop them into wherever I need them at that time. So I'm just going through that right now. I'm going to place the color for the day on that left hand side of the album, and so I'm just pulling these pages together. I have my Tuesday, I have this translucent plastic card which has a film on top of it, and then once I put that in, I really like how that looks. It gives a little bit of interest as well. I'll have my 4 3x4 photos to kick things off, top left, bottom right, and you know, vice versa, I guess. And then I am going to use this full page one for the ephemera. So I might just do some journaling about what I collected on the day and why on that little squiggly oval and maybe on the back oval as well. On the back oval, I could probably put a number of how much bits and pieces I collected that day to make it a bit like a scavenger hunt interest type of piece. And then I'm popping in these tags here. I thought they'd be cute for that. And then popping in, oh, there's some plastic on it, so taking that off. Popping in the Tuesday for the top bit. And then for the lower bit, it's a bit tight, so just cushion it in. And then for the lower bit, I am doing today look like this because it's in the opposite direction. So I thought that would be nice to add in there. I really love popping in all these little embellishments, bits and pieces. I like when they're, a bit see-through as well. I feel like it's cute, adds some interest. And so I like how this little circle looked on the top, like, two semicircles together. So popping those in, making sure they line up. I think that's so cute. I really love it so much. And then I'm just pulling out all the others. So they're pretty much 7 of each design in that set of semicircles. And so you could do it any which way you want, like this. It could be horizontal or along the vertical to just on top of photos, on the base of photos, just wherever you feel works best. I'm just popping all the pieces that are coordinating with the yellow into this. And so I guess even if in the end I decide that, for example, I have more photos than the pieces that I need in here, then I can still use those on top of a picture, on a journaling piece as decor in that day in the album, just to embellish different pieces if I have too many embellishments for this particular 2x2 shing thing shenanigan shindig layout page thing that I'm creating. So just popping those in there so that they stay in place and they stay organized. And I like that Pac-Man looking piece. And then just working through. After that, I believe it's the last page protector that I've just set up, but I'm also pulling out the chipboard pieces for that day. So the Tuesday, then there's a yellow tag as well. That was another piece of yellow, but that says this week, so I'll see if I use it at some other point in the album. And then this story is also color coded for the day of the week. And so once I get those pieces out, I'll just pop them in there so that they're all together. I don't know, I guess I was afraid to take it out of the plastic because there is an adhesive on the back and I didn't want them to all fall out, even though it probably wouldn't matter in the long run because I still need to take out about half of them anyway, or probably even more than half. But yeah, I just didn't want it to explode onto my desk. So I kept it in the plastic. But anyway, just popping these in here. And I just like how fun these bits and pieces are. And I can't wait to see it in my album. There are these plastic pieces as well, like little hashtags or the number sign, money signs, percentage, just little crosses, just some bits and pieces that will also be great for a setup like this with the 2x2. So just popping in as many again as possible that fit in with the colors. Some of them do have 2 colors on them. So like the periwinkle with the green, so you could either go with Sunday or the Thursday, for example, or whatever color the teal is. And so I struggled a bit with which page to put it on. So this orange and yellow, I think I'd put it on this one because the peach, which is the closest to orange, is quite light. And so just things like that, working through what you feel is best for your project as well, because at the end of the day we may or may not use them all anyway, but my goal is to try to use as much of the collection as possible, because you know we're always having products that can be used and be, you know, I just want to try and use up as much as I can. So popping those in a little bit tight, and then so I have these here, and then for the journaling pieces I'm just going to cut down all the papers now as well. I realized that these circles that I wanted to use for the long form journaling, the colors don't match, the colors match the kit but they're not. So I would have liked like one, the red one, I used that for Monday, and so the 2 is pink, so I would have preferred it to be yellow so that I could use it for Tuesday. So what I will do is I will go into Canva, and I only noticed that now. So what I'll do is I'll go into Canva and use the digitals and switch the colors. I'm going through to see if there's any I could use. It's probably use it for another project. It would be cute. But yeah, so just like this pack here, I'm going to pop in, you know, the journal bits into a page protector so that they're all together and I could use them however they align when I am indeed putting the final touches on the project with the photos and journaling. So now I'm just going to cut everything that needs to be cut for the day. So with that day of the week is so tricky to explain. Anyway, so for Tuesday I'm just going to cut this down to 7 inches. It is a bit slidey, so just be careful. There's also a film on it, so I would suggest taking a film off first. It makes it less slidey. I'm not sure if I realized there was a film on this, and I do have to go back and check my Monday to see if I did remove it. But once the film is off, it's much easier to cut down. And so the yellow, cut that down, and I want to use the extra bit later in the project for outfit of the day and that kind of thing. That can also be used. I'm still trying to see how it can work. Like maybe if I use the 4, I could document 4 things from that day on that piece. So but I'm not sure, because I usually like to do just a long journal at the end of the day. So maybe we'll see how it goes. So I cut this down to 8.25 inches. If you're using a 10 by 8, it goes perfectly well as a 4 by 10. And then I am punching holes into all the pages as well. I'll put my outfit of the day on the back. So I'm just writing that in so that I remember. And then I'm popping these bits into the page protector. I have to punch this but from the back. I like to reverse the paper just so that the holes align along the length, as opposed to facing it upwards. Anyway, just probably superstition on my part, but sometimes I feel like maybe the holes, if they're a bit off from like the top or the bottom, at least the pages would align if I cut it that way. So took that film off. So just a tip, take it off before, not after, and then pop in these page protectors in. And so once these page protectors are in, that would be Tuesday. I'm just checking to make sure that the journal card goes next, and it does. And then I am going to pop in that little page protector and put all the cards in there as a holding place for all the yellows. And I'm just checking to see if they would layer, how they would layer if I just did that as a element in the album. But I prefer to wait and see, because depending on how the week goes, then I might need more journaling space, right? And so now I'm gonna just do the same with the green for Wednesday. I promise I'm not gonna do all the days of the week because it is quite repetitive. But yeah, just setting this up one more time and then going through the same. You know, a project like this, it just calls for repetition and just repeated action, which, you know, a lot of times for me, I love the creative aspect of it, but there's also space for projects like this where you just want to be repetitive and it can be quite meditative. And so just me allowing myself to be in that space of doing a repeated action without having to think too much about it, it was quite I don't think cathartic, but it's just quite, yeah, releasing for me. And I do hope that this time around I feel the same way at the end of the project as I did when I was excitingly putting these pages together, because it can be a lot. And so I'm going to try to be a bit more intentional this year with my photos as opposed to previous years where I have, you know, had a formula or plan with how many 3x4 photos I need or how many 4x6 photos I need to fit into this project. I am just going in, taking photos that interest me, taking things that I'm inspired by, and then bringing it all together. Usually at the end of each day, I like to journal and just put my photos together because I feel like it helps bring the project together. So I'm not sure because life right now is a bit different. It's busier in some ways. But we'll see how we go. I think either way, I want to be able to document everything. We have a new baby in our family, and she just started solids, so it's quite exciting seeing that change, you know, us all eating together at the table, and not just her hanging out while we eat and that kind of thing. So those are things that are a bit different from last month even. And I am always reminded of how quickly the year goes by, this baby year, and also how quickly the years go by in general. So I want to make sure that I complete this one, but also I have like my projects in the past, there are a few of them, they look complete to the naked eye, but when I zoom in I realize that because as we go down, you know, towards the end of the week, the photos may dwindle, the journaling may dwindle, the motivation or energy may dwindle. So I want to be able to keep up with it. It's different from December daily for me, wherein I work on that one every day, so I finish my pages, and so basically by the end of December I'm done. But this one is different, and so this is my full album. I'm just doing a full flip through. I ended up rambling through Wednesday, but yeah, this is a full flip through of what it looks like, and I'm really excited about this project this year. I hope that you've enjoyed seeing me set up some of the days in my album. This part of the process is nice and exciting, and I look forward to just bringing it all together. And so yeah, this is Thursday. I love how it's coming together, and I can't wait to add in my photos and my journaling and share with you my album. So here we are. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I do hope that you join me for the next one. I hope if you're participating that you have enjoyed or are enjoying Weekend in Life, and that you have a great time going through your photos and journaling that is your everyday life. Until next time, goodbye.